Hello, today's poem we're considering is Norfolk by John Betjeman. Before we start, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, it'd be greatly appreciated if you would. Thank you so much. I have the poem here, so let's start. How did the devil come? When first attack? These Norfolk lanes recall lost innocence. The years fall off and find me walking back, dragging a stick along the wooden fence, down this same path where 40 years ago my father strolled behind me, calm and slow. I used to fill my hands with sorrel seeds and shower him with them from the tops of the stiles. I used to butt my head into his tweeds to make him hurry down those languorous miles of ash and alder shaded lanes, till here our moorings and the masthead would appear. There, after supper, lit by lantern light, warm in the cabin, I could lie secure, and hear against the polished sides at night the lap, lap, lapping of the weedy Bure, a whispering and watery Norfolk sound, telling of all the moonlit reeds around. How did the devil come? When first attack? The church is just the same, though now I know Fowler of Louth restored it. Time bring back the rapturous ignorance of long ago, the peace before the dreadful daylight starts, of unkept promises and broken hearts. A famous poem by a former poet laureate. There's much to unpack, so let's start. In this poem, John Betjeman returns to Norfolk, an English county famous for its natural beauty, rivers and canals. As he walks its lanes, he recalls visiting the same area with his father 40 years earlier. The poem starts dramatically with two rhetorical questions. How did the devil come? When first attack? The dramatic opening and hyperbole intrigue us to read further. On line 2, through antithesis, devil, with its connotation of sin and evil, contrasts with the speaker's childhood innocence. These Norfolk lanes recall lost innocence. The years fall off and find me walking back, dragging a stick along the wooden fence. Written in the present tense creates a sense of immediacy, and we are transported back with the speaker to those long lost Norfolk days. Down the same path. Down this same path where 40 years ago my father strolled behind me, calm and slow. Assonance, elongated vowel sounds, path, 40, ago, father, strolled, calm, slow, is used to reduce the poem's pace, reflecting that the speaker is no longer that boy and walking slowly now, a man, the same age as his father. Also, it creates a reflective mood as the man remembers the happy time spent with his father. I used to fill my hands with sorrel seeds and shower him with them from the tops of the stiles. Recalls the simple pleasures of childhood and the close bond between them. The young speaker butts his head into his father's tweeds to make him hurry down those languorous miles. And again, the use of assonance, languorous, conjure the long winding lanes he and his father strolled. The speaker's humorous account implies his father was patient and kind and did not reprimand his son for his antics and youthful impatience. Tweeds highlight father and son come from a prosperous middle-class family. Later we hear they are spending their vacation in a boat moored on the River Bure. Tweed, a rich woolen material, was worn by gentlemen at the time, presumably the 1920s, when the poem is set. There is also a tweed jacket called a Norfolk. After walking the lanes, the child and his father return to a boat moored on the River Bure. Again, assonance, ash, alder, shaded lanes slow the poem's pace, as does the line, our moorings and the masthead would appear. This technique underlines the leisurely day they have spent together. Till here reminds us that the poet is retracing the walk he made with his father 40 years earlier. Stanza 3 highlights the speaker's contentment at the end of the day. After supper, an evening meal, he lies content in his cabin. The poet uses sensory description to build an image of security and contentment. Visual description, lit by lantern light. The sense of touch, warm. And the sense of sound, the lap, lap, lapping of the weedy Bure. Sound is enhanced through onomatopoeia, lap, lap, lapping. The gentle tide rocks the craft and the speaker to sleep. Alliteration, iambic pentameter, and assonance paint a tranquil scene. For example, a whispering and watery Norfolk sound telling of all the moonlit reeds around. Stanza 4 is a jolt. From an idyllic world of content and pleasant memories, we are suddenly transported back to the present. The speaker is once again an adult, full of heartache as he grieves the loss of his childhood innocence and contentment. We realise the opening lines, "How did the devil come?" when first attack, refer to the poet's loss of contentment and innocence he experienced as a child. Although everything seems the same on the surface, the church is just the same. He has changed. The speaker remarks, "Though now I know Fowler of Louth restored it." Fowler of Louth was a noted Victorian church restorer. Betchaman was fascinated by old churches and architecture, so the poet and speaker are the same, and Norfolk is autobiographical. The last half of stanza 4, line 4, and the remaining 3 lines of the poem is an apostrophe, a literary device where the speaker addresses something absent. Time is personified as the speaker pleads with it to bring back the rapturous, joyous ignorance, innocence, and naivety of long ago. The poem ends in sadness as the poet wishes for the impossible. Time, bring back the rapturous ignorance of long ago, the peace before the dreadful daylight starts, of unkept promises and broken hearts. In the final 2 lines, the poem's languorous pace quickens to reflect how his life has changed from contentment to concern. His idyllic childhood and innocence will never return. The peace before the dreadful daylight starts, of unkept promises and broken hearts. The harsh K sounds of unkept and broken add to the poet's despairing tone. Placing broken hearts as the final 2 words of the final line underlines the pain he feels. The speaker is alone in the poem with only memories for company. His return to the scene of happiness suggests there is a crisis in his life and he seeks the contentment of long ago. Yet, like the church, nothing has changed. However, he has, and his innocence, once lost, cannot be regained. Devil and church introduce a religious theme. Norfolk is presented as Edenic, Norfolk's natural beauty, symbolic of the Garden of Eden, a time before the devil ensured humankind's fall from innocence. The poem's mood is sentimental, nostalgic. The poet's tone is reflective as he yearns for a time long gone. The poem demonstrates how revisiting a place can evoke powerful memories and be a bittersweet experience. Sir John Betjeman, 1906 to 1984, and Poet Laureate of Britain from 1972 to 1984, was the most popular English poet of the 20th century and a familiar personality on British television. As well as writing poetry, he wrote prolifically on architecture and topography. Norfolk compliments a meeting by Wendell Berry. It also sits well with A.E. Houseman's A Shropshire Lad, number 40. Into my heart an air that kills from yon far country blows. What are those blue remembered hills? What spires, what farms are those? That is the land of lost content. I see it shining plain, the happy highways where I went and cannot come again. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting and useful. If you did, please hit the like button below. Also, check out our other videos on writing and textual analysis. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, it would be greatly appreciated if you would. Thank you so much. Until next time, from Carol and me, write well.